Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. Today we're talking about a significant shift in artificial intelligence. It's been taking place through much of the first half of this year. For the last 3 years, much of the attention has been focused on foundation models. These are things like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Which company has the most powerful language model? Which model scores highest on the benchmark? Which one can write code, can pass exams, can summarize documents, or generate images? That phase isn't over. The models are still improving, but easy gains appear to be behind us. The bigger story is no longer simply about training a larger model. The bigger story is about integration. In other words, AI is moving from the lab into the workflow. It sounds simple, but it's got huge implications. There's really two movements happening at the same time. The first is that AI is being bolted into existing software applications. For example, Microsoft is embedding Copilot across the entire Microsoft Office suite. It's turning data into insights inside the applications people already use every day. Google is doing something similar with Gemini inside Gmail, Google Docs, Sheets, and so on. This is the AI assistant model. You still open the same spreadsheet, the same email client, the same document editor, the same customer relationship manager, but now there's an intelligent layer sitting beside you, helping you draft, summarize, search, analyze, and automate. For a lot of companies, this is the lowest friction path to adoption. Nobody needs to replace the entire technology stack. You simply make the old stack smarter. The second movement is more disruptive. These are applications that are being rebuilt around AI from the beginning. For example, Salesforce describes Agentforce as a platform for autonomous agents that can answer questions, they can take actions, and support employees and customers around the clock. That's different from adding a chatbot to an old screen. It's an AI native system. The agent is not an accessory. The agent is part of the operating model. When you add AI to an old application, you might improve productivity a little bit, maybe 10, 20, 30%, and that can be valuable. But when you redesign the process around AI, you eliminate entire steps. That can eliminate handoffs between departments. Sometimes entire departments, repetitive work could be eliminated. And that's where the leverage exists, by redesigning the process. Consulting firms are seeing the same thing. McKinsey has written that the trust is essential for AI to create value because adoption depends on integration into core workflows. A new study from Deloitte describes the move from proof-of-concept projects to scaling and operationalizing AI-driven processes across industries. IBM has said that success in 2026 depends less on individual models and more on systems, controls, and the foundations surrounding them. And that's a key point. Models become less important than the workflow. For real estate investors, this matters in several ways. Number one, it starts with due diligence. A few years ago, due diligence meant manually collecting zoning data, rent comps, tax records, and so on. Lots of different sources of data, and today many of these steps can be compressed. I know because we're doing it. The real gain doesn't come from asking AI to summarize a PDF. The gain comes from when the due diligence workflow itself is redesigned so that documents, maps, financial models all talk to each other. The same applies to property management. AI added to an existing property management system might help draft tenant notices or summarize maintenance requests, and that's useful, but it's not a game changer. In construction, AI can help write meeting minutes. That's pretty basic. The more powerful version connects schedules, submittals, change orders, RFIs, inspection results, and payment applications. Then the system can identify schedule drift before it becomes visible in the monthly report. We're starting to use it in financial modeling, not for creating a pro forma for a project, but for creating an entire company dashboard. QuickBooks is notorious for being only capable of looking at one entity at a time. It's very difficult to create a dashboard for an entire organization. AI tools can create workflows that simplify that entire process. So the real question for real estate investors is not which AI tool should I buy. The better question is which parts of the business are repeatable, information heavy, and vulnerable to human delay or inconsistency. And that's where AI belongs first. I wouldn't start with a shiny tool. I would start with a bottleneck, and I would start with designing the process, designing the pipeline, a flow of information. And this gets to really understanding how you organize your data. That sounds boring, but data organization is at the foundation of all of this. In real estate, execution is everything. AI doesn't change that principle. It raises the standard for what disciplined execution looks like. As you think about your own business, don't ask whether AI is coming. It's already here. Ask where it belongs and where it doesn't belong, and how it can help you protect your capital, improve your decisions, and communicate with greater clarity. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.